Hi everyone, this is Jess. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about changing the nigirikawa, which is, if I show you my bows, nigirikawa, it is the place where we hold the bow with our left hand. Here, here, different colors, different patterns, different materials. There's quite a lot. There are quite a lot of options to choose from with the nigirikawa or the bow grip. So nigiru is a Japanese verb meaning like a grip, and kawa, the kanji that's used for the nigirikawa kanji, means leather, a kind of a animal skin or leather. So this is the bow that I've been using the most recently, and as you can see, there's a bit of a it's pretty high, and then let's compare it. This height, it relates to the way your hand is going to be gripping onto the bow, so it's very personal. Somebody asked me about this the other day, and I thought, you know, I'll make a video when I get the chance. I don't really change my bow grip that often. My hands are not that sweaty. Depends on how much you practice, how sweaty your hands are, this kind of thing. This is the one that I'm going to be changing, the white one. This one, I'm not sure if you can see. This one is wrapped on, and so that's really standard to wrap around. The issue with wrapping and the nigirikawa is that it, unless you fasten it very securely, it can come apart in these edges where they're wrapped close by each other. You don't overlap when you wrap. You have to fit it together. Otherwise you have issues with it moving, etc. So a lot of people, they can't be bothered figuring out this wrapping thing, because you have to cut to a certain length. It takes a little bit more time. It's quicker just to wrap in one piece. So they cut a larger rectangle and just put the whole thing over, and then at the back there's one seam here. So the seams are a little bit different depending on the type, and it's just a matter of preference, really. However, if you go to Kyudo shops in Japan, you'll find that most of them are this like wrap type. People that make their own nigirikawa, of course, is possible. If you have spare leather, why not? You just cut the rectangle and wrap it around. You just make sure that it fits the whole bow grip. Anyway, so the material that I'm going to be using today, I'm just going to take it out of the, I think this is gyu. I think this is cow leather, but it does have, so it's got a little bit of stretch in it, which you need. You don't want it to be rock hard. The thing that I really like about this, compared to the more expensive shikagawa, or usually you'd use deer skin, especially ibushi, which is a kind of a smoked deer skin, a really specific color, similar to this color, with a very specific smell. Think smoky bacon. That's really what it reminds me of. I love the smell, but it's usually very, very thick, like a cushion, really, that you hold your bow with. It's great if you have issues with sweaty palms, if you're a sweaty palm sort of a person. Anyway, the reason why I really like it so much is because it's so thin. So I like being able to feel it properly. If it's too thick and too wide, as you're using it over time, it compresses. And so the overall thickness does change over time. The thickness never changes. It's set from the first day. And so that's, I guess, really what I like about it. So this is what I have. This is what I have on my bow at the moment. It's made by Mizuno, and you can buy it on Amazon in Japan. They have multiple different colors, and I really like this natural color. It's very good. And then when you get, a bit of aging, a bit of the color is slightly different to the start, but it still looks really beautiful, I think. And what I need to do though is take off this old one just have a little feel of this other one that I'm using in terms of height, how it compares, and either add a little bit more onto this or not. I have a feeling this is a different shape, so I may have to get a different inside. But anyway, let's take it apart and have a look. This is the back of both of the bows, the nigirikawa. This is the one I'm going to be changing. This is the one I have now. As you can see, this seam, it's slightly moved at the back. This seam is not the cleanest, but I've probably had this nigirikawa for maybe 9 months or so now. And then this is the one I want to change. There are multiple videos about changing your nigiri. If you want to know how to do it properly, you know, there's a standard way and then there's my way. So if you know it doesn't work for everyone always, but I recommend pliers. That's okay. We take this one off. Usually we would use mokuzo bond, which is just PVA glue. This one here, this is from, I just got it at Daiso, so it's just regular PVA. Okay, so we open it up and we see, I'm making some good cracking sounds here. This is what we would call anko, or the core, and we can just take it off. Let's take the whole thing off because we want to essentially get rid of that. Okay, so this is what the bow looks like with nothing on it. It's nice and shiny, beautiful color. So this is a, to give you some background, this is a stronger bow that I have been given permission to use. Let's open up this and see what's in here. This is a nigirikawa that was kindly made by another dojo person, made it for me. So in here is like, this feels like shika, so it seems to be deer skin. And then this one, goodness only knows. Let's have a look. Okay, so we have a semicircle, as you can see, a semicircle of what looks like leather here, and whether we'll use that or not, I'm not 100% sure. I've kind of forgotten what it's like in here, but I would like to make it as close to the feeling of this one as possible. This, as you can see, there's a bit of a step here, which really helps me find the place to push for tsunomi. Whereas this one is the curve is very soft and there's no step. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do here, but for now we have it off anyway. So let's think about the height and how we're going to make the inside or the core of the nigiri. This is what's the most standard inside the Japanese bow to create height, to create that shape, and it's gonna be going here. So really, there are multiple different ways to customize this. It depends on your bow width, your bow height. You know, you can change it multiple different ways. And what we would usually do is put a piece of paper down, washi or other paper that you like, just to protect the bow itself. And then this is called anko. This anko would go on top. And then we would finish it with, like, just to give you a little idea, we'd finish it like this. So depending on where you want your logo, or if you don't want the logo on or whatever, so we wrap it around. I am not very good at this because I'm not very practiced at doing it, but what you need to do is go with a marker and figure out how oops, there we go, where you need to cut it. So obviously they give you a lot extra than you actually need, which is helpful because it depends on the size of the bow. And then you go over with PVA and you put it back on again. So once you have the approximate length that you need, you wrap it up, mark it out, cut it, and then go from there. And as you can see, it's covered in PVA on here. So what I'm gonna do is sand it a little bit, sand it down, and I'll come back and we'll try sticking it on. Okay, so I have my leather here. I sanded it down a little bit, and actually I made it shorter. And that's just using sandpaper. That's the cool thing about, obviously it makes a big mess, but it's customizable, so you can change the angles, etc. Of course, you can make this half circle a lot flatter, as I have. And then I'm going to be putting this on top, so I'm going to kind of stack them to try to make a similar shape to the one that I have. So let's put this one here just to give you kind of an idea of what I'm going to be making. See, it's quite high. However, in reality, it's very similar in height to the one that I have at the moment. And so the other thing is, you know, the cool thing about having, so this one is rubber. The cool thing about having the rubber one, let's move it a little bit closer, is that you can, you know, you can cut it, you can customize it, and you can also sand it. So if you want to really, really fine tune, if there are some edges that are too sharp for you, like along here, you can sand. I'm going to stack them like this. Where my fingers will come, which is over this other side, let's see if we can show it. I'm going to be over here. So it's quite an edge, if you know what I mean. And I am going to put it purposely a little bit to the left, not in the middle, a little bit to the left. So this is just kind of what I've come to from my process of trial and error. This is kind of what was suggested to me over the course of the time that I've been doing Kyudo. Anyway, so what we need to do first is put down, I'm going to put a piece of paper down just for protection, and we'll stick that on with regular PVA. Before I put the paper down, actually, what I want to do is I'm going to hold this bow steady, make sure that it's in approximately the right place. Just have a look compared to this other one. What I am going to do is put it approximately in the same place, and we're gonna do a bit of awase. So I think around here is okay. I think that's fine. And what I will do is wrap from there. Very kind of like, maybe with, you know, a little bit of leeway. Try to get it as close together as possible. So this is going to be like a first draft. And this is the part of the nigirikawa, changing over the nigirikawa, that I hate the most. And it's because I'm not really great at detailed stuff. Seems to be okay. So figuring out the length, and then here is fine, right? It's from here down, which is the most important. So we need to go turn it over a little bit more. Okay, so as you can see, we've come off the bow and onto the rattan, but we have a tiny little triangle that goes in here. Super annoying, but we will need to kind of make sure we have enough. This is a little bit stretchy, which is one of the reasons why I like it so much. Basically, do a bit of an outline here so you can kind of figure out where you're going to be cutting it. Might be too short. And this pen is really not good. It's running out, so whatever. I'm just making a mark of where I'm going to be cutting. And this is always really scary because if you kind of screw it up at this stage, it's always good to buy 2 nigirikawa at once. Okay, so I am going to cut around here, and if you find you've marked it incorrectly and too short, well, make sure you buy a spare one just in case. So this is the excess. The height is quite high on my nigirikawa, so I cut a little half circle and stick it in on each end so that you can't see the inside of the nigiri anyway. This is the extra. I'm gonna put this other bow away now, and this is what we'll be using. So this is the nigirikawa and the size I'll be using, and this is the anko or the core on top of each other. So I might just pre-fasten these with PVA glue. And I'm going to start wrapping. Let's put it around here. So for now, let's just get this one set. And holding on to this so it doesn't move too much, I'm just gonna wrap around here. Remember that while it's wet, you know, you do have a little bit of some amounts to play with. This is gonna be a little bit too big. So, and then these, can I say the seam? The seam, I really want to get it in nice and tight. So I try as much as possible and tight. And you gotta remember, you don't want the inside of the nigiri moving as you're pushing and pulling and turning and twisting, because the angle and the orientation that you set it at might move. So you have to be kind of aware of the inside of the nigiri at the same time. It looks like it's stretched more than I imagined, and this is the thing when you put glue on, so it's essentially, it's like wetting it, kind of. It does stretch more than you imagine. This is the side that a lot of people see when your bow is like on the bow rest. Yumi tate. Okay, so it looks like here, if I can go back on camera, it's still a little bit too big. So what I'm going to do is roll it back a bit here and just cut it. And then I think we'll be done. The logo is like wonky. Here is the way that I wanted it to go, and here's the way that it turned out, but whatever, that's okay. As you can see, there's a really big color difference. The seams, the rest of the way are fine. The height seems to be good, similar to the one that I'm using at the moment, which is here. The one place where I kind of messed up is at the bottom. It was slightly too long, so I cut it, but also I didn't cut enough, so it's like slightly overlapping on the rattan down here, rattan, which is fine. It's the back of the bow, I guess it's okay. Something to work on for next time. Anyway, let me just do a little side by side. Okay everybody, thank you so much for watching. So this is the old bow, and it's nigirikawa, and this is the new bow with its new nigirikawa. New meaning I don't really use it that much, it's still new to me, it's slightly stronger, and hopefully going forward I'll be able to use it, but you can kind of tell the difference. This one is a kind of a wine red color, and this one is black. So they're about 1 kilo or so in difference. What I'm going to do today, actually, I'll try to make a video of it, is I'm going to measure the draw weight at the dojo. It's not the kind of thing I can do at home. You need to get a specific yumi draw weight measuring tool. So we'll do that at the dojo today. I'm not sure. I'll try to get video for that. The products that I used, this Mizuno nigirikawa, I will put a product link in the description, but I'm the type that does the wrap, not the rectangle sort of a all-encompassing thing. I like to wrap it around. So I use this gyu, which is cow nigiri. So I use this one because it's got quite a lot of stretch to it, and it's very thin, which is what I like. The other thing you need: sandpaper, PVA glue, scissors, and what I really needed today was a little knife. I think I need to find a knife just for those little edges, to pop some parts in and pull others out. Knife is very useful, I think. If you have a feel of it, usually waiting 24 hours before using the nigiri is recommended. I just used a little dryer like this. This is a little Japanese hair dryer. So I use this in between steps to dry each part of my nigiri, and today I'm going to take it to the dojo, and just it is slightly flexible in there still, which isn't good. You shouldn't really be shooting it, because when you do put pressure on the nigiri area, it can move the wonderful setup that you have inside, and it's very difficult unless you unwrap everything to then go in and adjust it. So it's better, I recommend to wait 24 hours, or at least until it's dry, like it doesn't move around when you squeeze it. So I'm gonna go into the dojo anyway today and try. We're gonna measure the draw weight, so please stay tuned for that if you're interested in seeing how much the bow weighs, how much the draw weight is in kilos. We measure in kilos for yumi. Please stay tuned for the next video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.